kids. So, I'm trying my hand at being a professional again. What should I use for my business this time? Dear God, anything but that! Well, if it's not Windows 11, I don't mind. Before we talk about Windows NT 4.0, we gotta talk about New Shell. New Shell, legal name Shell Technology Preview, was a way for users of Windows NT 3.5 and 3.51 to test the new interface of Windows 95. Its first appearance was in Windows NT 3.51, build 854, compiled on November 19th, 1994. New Shell here looks a lot like Windows 95 Beta 2, as Windows 95 was in Beta 2 around this time. Build 889, 896, and 1037 have New Shell 2, but no pictures of them have been found. The original New Shell release, build 1054, was compiled on May 28, 1995, less than 3 months before Windows 95's release. The start menu labels it as Windows NT Explorer, and interestingly, WinVer doesn't say version 3.5 or 3.51. It says version 4.0. There was an update pushed out too, called Shell Technology Preview Update, or New Shell 2. The build number is 1057 and was compiled on August 14th, 1995, 10 days before Windows 95's release. Now, onto Windows NT 4.0. Windows NT 4.0 was developed from Windows NT 3.51 and New Shell, as you'll see in some builds. Build 1096 is the first confirmed build of Windows NT 4.0, compiled on or before July 2nd, 1995. The only mention of this build we have is from the file ntinit.ss.c from NT4's source code. Build 1130 is the earliest available build of NT 4.0, compiled on September 21st, 1995. This is similar to Windows NT 3.51 plus New Shell 2, however, with some differences. Setup now features a Windows 95 style setup wizard, and WinNT256.bmp has been lazily edited to say version 4.0 instead of 3.51. WinNT.bmp stays at 3.51, however. Build 1234 is the official Beta 1 of NT 4.0, compiled on January 25th, 1996. Inbox is now on the desktop, and both WinNT.bmp, LandmanNT.bmp, and their 256 color counterparts have been updated. They actually look proper and have semi-transparent beta text on the left or bottom. The NT Explorer text in the start menu is gone and has been replaced by Windows NT Workstation or Windows NT Server. On the installation media, you can also install IE2, Full Tilt Pinball, the game which Space Cadet 3D Pinball is based from, and WordPad. Build 1273 is a pre-beta 2 build, compiled on March 20th, 1996. WordPad is now bundled into NT4, replacing Write entirely. The icon set from Plus 95 is now included, stored in The EULA is now here, but it's in the graphical setup and it has placeholder text. And of course, we now have the beautiful startup and shutdown sounds. Build 1314 is the official Beta 2 build, compiled on May 6th, 1996. WinNT.bmp, LandmanNT.bmp, and their 256 color counterparts have been updated to say Beta 2. We have the final setup banners, and task list has been renamed to Task Manager. Build 1345 is the official release candidate 1 of NT 4.0, compiled on June 21st, 1996. We almost have the final branding wallpaper on the workstation version, however, with a few differences. Next to the workstation text, it says version 4.0, as opposed to the final's 4.0. There's a trademark symbol next to the Windows logo. In addition, the Windows logo in the RC version has a drop shadow and a glow, whereas the final version only has the glow. The Microsoft Internet Explorer text is absent. The registered trademark symbol next to the Microsoft logo is so small you can't even see it. Arial is used for the copyright notices instead of Franklin Gothic, and the colors here are darker. But the server version of this image is finalized. Build 1369 is the release candidate 2 build, compiled on July 15th, 1996. We have the final branding image, and you now have to read the entire EULA before accepting it. Now, there's two compiles of build 1381. The older compile is from July 27th, 1996, with a missing period on the boot screen, and earlier file dates. There was apparently a major bug which caused Microsoft to make a recompile. The recompile is from August 3rd, 1996, and fixed the bug. as well as add a period on the boot screen. Finally, on August 24th, 1996, Windows NT 4.0 finally released. From what I can gather, which is much, NT 4.0 was pretty well received. NT 4.0 has a lot more editions than NT 3.x, which only had 2 editions, Workstation and Server. NT 4.0 Workstation and Server launched at the same time in 1996. Server Enterprise Edition was launched in 1997 and allows NT servers to connect to the cluster server. Terminal Server Edition was launched in 1998 and allows remote solutions to applications on a server, and is the Microsoft-developed successor to Citrus's WinFrame, which was based on Windows NT 3.51 and released in 1995, and Embedded, released in 1999, and is made for use on embedded computers, obviously. Like previous versions of Windows NT, there were service packs. SP1 was released on October 16th, 1996, SP2 was released on December 14th, SP3 on May 15, 1997, SP4 on October 25th, 1998, SP5 on May 4th, 1999, SP6 was released on October 27th, 1999, but then a severe bug was found and Service Pack 6A was released on November 22nd, 1999 as an installer, and on December 1st, 1999 as a CD-ROM. There was supposed to be an SP7, but Microsoft canned that idea and instead pushed out a security roll-up for SP6A on July 26, 2001. In 2004, NT 4.0 source code, along with some of 2000's, were leaked online by Mainsoft. Microsoft then issued this statement. On Thursday, February 12th, Microsoft became aware that portions of the Microsoft Windows 2000 and Windows NT 4.0 source code were illegally made available on the internet. Subsequent investigation has shown this was not the result of any breach of Microsoft's corporate network or internal security, nor is it related to Microsoft's Shared Source Initiative or its government security program, which enable our customers and partners, as well as governments, to legally access Microsoft's source code. Microsoft reaffirms its support for both the Shared Source Initiative and the government security program. Microsoft continues to work closely with the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation and other law enforcement authorities on this matter. Microsoft's source code is both copyrighted and protected as a trade secret. As such, it's illegal to post it, make it available to others, download it, or use it. Microsoft will take all appropriate legal actions to protect its intellectual property. These actions include communicating both directly and indirectly with those who possess or seek to possess, post, download, or share the illegally disclosed source code. Specifically, Microsoft is sending letters explaining to individuals who have already downloaded the source code that such actions are in violation of the law. Additionally, Microsoft has instituted the use of alerts on several peer-to-peer clients where such illegal sharing of the source code has taken place. These alerts are designed to inform any user who conducts specific searches on these networks to locate and download the source code that such activity is illegal. Questions about the ongoing investigation should be referred to the FBI. Then, slowly but surely, Microsoft started killing off Windows NT 4.0. Workstation was killed off on June 30th, 2004, Server and its editions were killed off on December 31st, 2004, and Embedded was killed off on July 11th, 2006. But if you had the security updates, your OS would remain in support until December 31st, 2006, marking an end to NT4 as a whole. So now, let's take a look at the OS. When we boot off the CD, we're greeted by the same blue setup that we've seen for 6 years now. After getting through that, we're loaded into the graphical setup. The same background is here, and the GUI setup is largely the same as Windows 95. And after we log on to NT4, we're greeted by this sound. This is one of the best sounds I have ever heard. We're also greeted by this wallpaper. You know, ever since this was the first time I saw this picture, it always fascinated me. This is supposed to be a counterpart to Windows 95, where the logo is in the clouds. Here, it's in space. Why is this? Well, this is all just speculation, but maybe the Windows logo is higher in the sky to denote that it's more powerful. Anyways, NT4 is largely the same as Windows 95, except we have some features from Microsoft Plus 95 bundled in, like Internet Explorer and 3D Pinball. Oh, and of course the NT kernel. And that's Windows NT 4.0, an improvement to NT 3.x by adding the Explorer and features from Microsoft Plus 95. Now let's install on my computer running Windows 7 that's totally fit. Let's see who you really are. Fuck you!